Hey, what is up? What is going on? My name is Arvind Ramkrishna. Welcome to Driven to Draw. And today we're going to be doing a quick crit. I actually received quite a bit of a few drawings from a gentleman named Aaron Cobbs. He's done a terrific job of engaging, or actually just diving right into the DVD set. He is one of the guys that has purchased the course. And I wanted to help him out and give him some tips and tricks, because he's done a really good job of just focusing and trying to practice a lot of these techniques. And so I just want to go quickly to his email. These are some of his sketches that he's just beginning. These are all his first attempts before I think he even took the course. And as he progresses, you can see that he's really got a pretty high level of improvement with just a short amount of time. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of these particular drawings that I see here, and I'm going to mark it up to give him some tips and just help him out a little bit, because I really like how he's kind of structuring his approach. He's making sure that his wheelbase or the proportions are correct, and he's trying to get into some good measuring. Like some of these drawings here are really pretty good. I like the fact that he's using the circle templates and just sort of planning that out and separating the wheelbase between the front and the rear wheel, which is all really good. I have to commend him. One of the other things I kind of like too is just some of the sketches from YouTube that he's trying to learn from, which is awesome, because it really is about taking action. When people always ask me, boy, I get really stuck and I don't know what to do, and you know, sometimes I just get stuck being creative and just getting into the drawing. Well, to tackle that, you just have to start. You just have to dive in and just start doing the work, and what happens is that you will end up absorbing yourself into the work. You get into this sort of zone where it's almost meditative. It's really a fascinating experience. That's why I really enjoy drawing so much. I have the same problem, by the way, as everybody else, where I struggle to get started, and even creating some videos and things, I really find it difficult. But the main thing is to make sure that you dive in. Anytime you buy a course or you invest in yourself, you should really try to stick to it and try to make that time every single day to practice and to work at it. And there's so many side benefits to all this. Drawing is just not for someone that's an artist. Drawing is to help your mind, help you to think out loud. It's helping you to create. It's helping to exercise that right side of your brain, both right and left side of your brain. So anyway, enough of that. What I've got, I'm actually going to be using something different. It's a software called Krita, which is completely for free. Excellent software. In fact, I've got a setting here that I really enjoy using that I'm going to now experiment with when I start to mark up this drawing. So Aaron has got a really nice start. What I really like here is the fact that he is, I'm going to just turn down my size of my brush here. But what I like is that he's really paying attention to his perspective lines. You know, they have a good amount of converging, or just the 2-point perspective is done, you know, pretty accurately. I'm pretty pleased with how he's set this thing up. And what you'll notice, here is that you basically end up with the drawing that he's got is his box, and that's how you have to start. You don't want to start with something overly complex. You know, shapes can be hard to rationalize. Your brain cannot rationalize a lot of complex shapes so quickly. You have to sort of allow your brain to get used to that process of creating shapes, and the best way to do it is doing it with drawing your boxes first, which is what you'll learn. You'll understand a lot of that stuff, the whys and the ins and outs, and why it's important to do certain things, is because I'm really trying to teach you how your brain really functions. How does it really work? How does it learn? So let's start with this ellipse right here. I have to say, is pretty good. If this is your perspective, just I mean, I like how what you've done here. So if I get this, I would say that's pretty accurate. The issue that you're having is probably the rear, right? So the rear is kind of going this way, which you don't want to do, which is kind of the opposite. But you want to follow your perspective line, like so. And then that's sort of how your ellipse is, what it needs to look like. And in the practice exercises that you see on your DVD set will tell you how to, and I strongly urge you to follow that. But I've given you a way to sort of dissect the ellipses and making sure that they're all converging into a vanishing point, or that you're following the lines and you're projecting your ellipses in perspective. This is all what I'm doing here is kind of automatic, because after a while you sort of get a good idea of how this is supposed to work and look. Now that we have this, I mean, this is good. That's a little sloppy though, my ellipse. But when you start to put in your boxes, this is all done pretty well right here. But when you start to layer your boxes, you can see that you got to have a little bit of height above your wheel, because you're basically touching your wheel here, and that's not going to happen. So you can start with like a wedge if you want, as you're kind of constructing these things out, and take it over to the make sure that your lines are converging to the vanishing points that are out here somewhere. I'm going to bring this down here because I'm going to basically create this shape meeting it. And then I'm going to set you want to pay attention. You want to really reference a lot of the other cars and see how where the windshields start and where they stop on your side view. That's why on your course there's a reason why we don't start to jump into perspective and getting into all that stuff. We have an introduction to perspective, but there's an incredible amount to learn aside from perspective, meaning that if you don't understand how side views work and how your proportions work, your perspectives are not going to work very well. You have to kind of go at a step by step. And it's hard because people see all these great drawings and they want to just start off doing the tough stuff. But then the byproduct of starting off that way is you get very demoralized and you get very upset that, well, these aren't looking like I'd want it to look like, and they don't look like that because you're skipping a lot of other steps in between. And I'm no different, by the way, okay? I'm not gonna stand here and say, oh, that I was the same way. I did the same thing. Quite often I would go in and want to do the good stuff, but guess what happened? I would come right back and say, well, looks like I gotta fix this because I obviously didn't learn it very well. This is the first time I'm using Krita, so I'm hoping you'll be a little bit patient with me here, because usually I rotate the the screen, but I'm drawing it with it up and at a little bit of an angle, so finding it a little bit difficult to use this. So used to doing everything by hand. Really prefer drawing by hand. It's more organic. Okay. So that's this. This is just to give you a quick idea and then start to draw your sections here. If you get into the habit of drawing sections, and that's going to help you to understand your forms a little bit better as well. I'm going to darken these lines now a little bit and see if that helps. So we've done this. I'm going to just start another layer here. Move this. Yeah, we'll keep this markup in a separate layer. I'll see if I can darken this up. Remember, right here we're just going with a basic shape. We're not getting too fancy with this at all. That's not the objective. The objective is to allow your brain to comprehend the shape. Notice I'm not even drawing the A-pillar. I'm just drawing the shape around it. You know, after you do this, you can go in and try to lay in your lines and start to add some details to it. You just keep constructing. Construct the basic shape. And that's really the trick. It's the trick to figuring out how to add more detail to some of your other drawings. Not to go in and get too complicated at the beginning. And by all means, never be afraid to keep looking at reference. You should always keep looking at reference and trying to understand and study. I mean, that's basically what you're doing, is you have to keep studying. My computer is heating up quite a bit going through this, so then each section here you can start to define the curvature. You can do all that, but you know, this is, again, this is a nice simple way of dissecting it. Okay, so this is it. This is the first kind of level markup, so I hope this made sense, and we'll just add the perspective lines here. Oops. I'm trying not to touch my screen because I've got the screen enabled. I'm actually using my hands to zoom in and zoom out, so if I lay my palm on this thing, it kind of screws it up. So I'm trying to, it's really uncomfortable. I'm sure there's like a setting on here that can help me deal with that, but I haven't figured out any of that yet. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. This is the first sort of critique for Aaron Cobb. I want to once again give it up for him for allowing me to use his drawings to help other people, as well as help give him some tips as well as he goes through that course. So We'll see you next time. I hope you enjoyed this, and we'll catch up again on the next couple weeks. Have a good one. But for those who want a more structured approach, we've got our flagship course, which is How to Draw Cars Now DVD set. It is available on Amazon, and we also have a digital download version as well. Now the course is structured so that it helps to get you the results that you're looking for. And even though we have a lot of the free videos, people are kind of looking for, where do I really start? What's my starting point, and what do I need to do? And this course does an excellent job to taking you through that walk. It's not easy to learn so many different details, and a lot of people try to jump to all the good stuff. What this course does is hones you in on all the important things you need to focus on first before you get to the good stuff, and there's a lot of good stuff in here as well. I have been amazed at the variety of people and their backgrounds who have been interested in drawing. Not only do we have aspiring designers, but we have engineers, architects, financial advisors. I said I have a UPS driver that is now enrolled into industrial design to attend college. To get out there and to inspire you guys, it inspires me. The drawing and ideation, it's important, and it doesn't mean that you have to be a designer. You don't have to be the perfect artist. But what you do need to have is just an open mind to understand what are the possibilities that you have for yourself. You keep a positive attitude and an open mind, you'll find out that you can accomplish a lot more than you think you can. In any case, I want to let you know that we've got, of course, our 150 plus free videos that you are more than welcome to keep consuming. Thanks again for all the wonderful comments that I'm getting, and we'll see you here next time on Driven to Draw. Bye-bye.